Hey guys, Paul's here, coding after 30. It's been a long time. Hope you guys doing good. Haven't made a video in forever because of things. So in this video, I want to tell you why not giving up, learning to code, learning to program, whatever it is you're doing, is one of the best things you could do in 2020. As you could see with everything that's going on now, people, not being able to work unless you're lucky to work remotely. So if you follow this channel and you've seen some of my other videos, I talked about how I've been doing, freelance work. I worked for a small company. I did it because that's all I could find. If you don't know my history, was my career switch late in life. I'm going to be turning 40, so I don't know why I'm calling coding after 30, I guess. That I started learning so long ago, and finally, it's starting to pay off a little bit. But the whole idea is that, having the ability to have a job which is not only in demand, but also allows you to work remotely is huge. And I went to visit my fiance in Thailand, and I came back in January, right when this whole thing was starting. And literally when I got back, I had a job interview for this company, and I luckily got hired. The pay wasn't good, still isn't good. It doesn't matter because I got hired for experience. And then after things kind of picked up with what's going on now, and they were saying how you have to close the office, you can't come in anymore. And luckily, in my job, I was able to continue to work remotely. And the 3 points I want to make in this video is that I was so lucky to be able to get this job and start working, because in my previous job, before I started learning to code and what I was doing before, there was no way I would be able to have a job, because my job required me to go to work. I had to physically be there. And if what happened now happened then, I would be unemployed, plain and simple. So, but this time around, they're like, okay, just work from home. My boss doesn't like it, but he needs to run his business, and so he has all the developers working from home. So that's number one reason, giving you that flexibility outside being a demand field. The second thing I wanted to tell you is that, yeah, you guys don't know me, but it took me a long time to get my first job. I don't have a college degree, and it was a lot of hard work, and I had to do some free work to start. Then I was able to get an internship. Then I got my freelancing gig, and now I got a full-time job as a software engineer. And my starting salary is low. And the point is that when you're coming from where I'm coming from, you don't have a college degree, you've been in a completely unrelated field, you have to pay your price. You have to put in your time. And the monetary gains that I get from my job are not even close to the experience that I'm able to get. And I know within the year, when I go and get a job somewhere else, my income is going to be way greater than what I started. So those of you who kind of, having hard time finding a job, or you're not getting the job you want, sometimes you're going to have to bite the bullet and take what you can, especially if you don't have a degree, you're a little bit older, you got to go out of your way. I'll give you some tips how I was able to actually get the job. It's not just the fact that, they asked me questions about, my coding experience, but it was also because the way I dressed, how I presented myself, definitely way better than I'm presenting myself right now. I wore a nice suit, very well dressed, and I keep, when I physically go to work, I still dress really well. I dress for success. Some people kind of look at me like that's weird because you look like you're dressing like upper management, where all developers, they wear their t-shirts and jeans, but the whole idea is that they earn that right. They have the experience. I'm a new guy. I'm just starting out. I want to put my best foot forward. And you know what? People do take that seriously. And the third takeaway is, if you have, going through a hard time and you're like, I don't know if I could learn this stuff, you will always feel that way. I've been at my job already. I started in January, so almost 3 months, 4 months, losing track of time, 3 months. And I learned so much at my job, and I still don't feel like I know what I'm doing. But when I go back to look at the things that I started working on, they seem way easier for me. So don't give up, keep going. And one of the things I realized is that when you're learning to code, you know, people ask like, well, what do you need? Like, what do you need to do to get to that level when you're hireable, or how do you know when you're not a beginner? And honestly, it's time coding. You just have to code as much as possible, literally writing code. There's, you know, we could watch tutorials, you can do whatever you want, but you got to sit with the problem, you got to think about it, and you got to write code. You got to do it. There's no other way. It's literally the time spent doing the work. So I'll give you an example. Before, you know, I started doing this, I was into MMA and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is it's basically what you see when people grapple in UFC and the fight goes to the ground, and the takedowns and throws. That's Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So the point is, you know, I've done Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for almost 18 years, and that's what I used to do. I used to teach Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and a lot of people come in and they always wonder, what's the secret? How could I get better? And you know, some people are just talented, but how could I get better? And they'll never catch up to, let's say, a black belt, no matter how hard they train, unless they train for like, you know, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years, because that experience of physically understanding the movement and how it feels and how to do moves and your timing, it's not something you learn, but it's something you develop over time. And it's the same thing with coding. You need to develop that skill over time. And the more time you spend coding, sitting with problems, solving problems, like the biggest takeaway, I keep saying I'm going to give you 3 takeaways. It's like number 4 is being able to sit with problems and being able to just try to solve them. And every time you fail, it brings you closer to the answer. So it is frustrating, but it's something that you have to get used to. And I want to tell you so much about like my experience working at a company. And I work for a small company, so you kind of have to wear many hats. And so I was kind of like thrown into the fire. But I'll talk in other videos. So I'm gonna get back to making more videos like I used to. It's just been so busy, and with everything that's going on, I've kind of been like low. But whatever. Back now, I'm sure a lot of you guys are feeling the same way. So what I want to say, don't give up, keep it up, keep going. You know what? Let me know in the comments how you guys have been doing. Let me know your experiences. You know, if you got a job, if you're looking for a job, if you're having troubles in learning to code. But besides that, anyway, I just wanted to reach out, you know, put this video out there. Probably not even going to edit it that much, just because I want to get into a habit of getting back to it. And I'll release more videos, talk about my experience at work or whatever questions you have. I'm also going to create playlist where I'm just going to review the things I learned about JavaScript. Not so much from the standpoint that I'm some expert and I want to teach you guys, but it's something that will help me to kind of remember concepts and practice through teaching. And that's something I suggest for you. So, you know, your understanding is as good as your ability to be able to explain it to somebody else and have them be able to understand it. So anyway, I just wanted to say hello to you guys and tell you that I'm still here, even though, you know, I haven't posted anything in a while. So with that being said, you guys have a good day, good night, whatever it is. And if you in the same boat and want to see more videos like this, subscribe or like, share, or, you know, not, it's okay with me. So you guys take care.